AP News, I'm Ed Donahue. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with officials from Greenland and Denmark about the future of Greenland. President Trump has been talking in more forceful terms lately about a possible U.S. takeover of Greenland.
There's clearly a disagreement. We agreed that it makes sense to try to sit down on a high level to explore whether there is possibilities to accommodate the concerns of the president, while we at the same time respect the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark.
Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen says there will be more talks.
It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom.
Before the meeting, President Trump wrote the U.S. needs Greenland for the purpose of national security. He added NATO should be leading the way to get it, and otherwise Russia or China would, saying in all capital letters, and that is not going to happen. President Trump says he's been told on good authority plans for executions in Iran have stopped, even as Tehran has signaled fast trials and executions ahead in its crackdown on protesters. The Supreme Court is reviving a Republican challenge to a law allowing the counting of late-arriving mail ballots, a target of President Trump. The High Court majority ruled candidates can sue over voting counting rules, even if they haven't shown a clear effect on the outcome of the race. Renee Good's family hired the law firm that represented George Floyd's family to seek answers and accountability for the Minneapolis mother's killing by a federal immigration agent. The family's decision to hire the law firm comes on the same week the Justice Department saw no basis for a federal civil rights investigation. More information at apnews.com. This is AP News. The Iranian judiciary is hinting at rapid trials and executions linked to ongoing protest.
Even as activists say, the death toll's risen to levels unseen in decades. Iran's judiciary chief made the comments about trials and executions in a video on Tuesday, despite a warning from President Donald Trump that he would take very strong action if executions take place. The US-based human rights activist news agency now says the number of dead has climbed to over 2,570. The figure dwarfs the death toll from any other round of protests of unrest in Iran in decades and recalls the chaos surrounding the country's 1979 Islamic Revolution. After Trump was informed on the number of deaths, he warned Iran's leaders that he was terminating any negotiation. I'm Charles Diladesma.
Nurses in New York City are striking for a third day, with both sides seemingly prepared for the long haul. Negotiations don't appear to be on the table. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Alarm clock bark, sky still gray, radio clicks on, static haze. Good morning, Marianas, in my face, Brad yelling, wake up, Saipan, no escape. Coffee burns my lip, he laughs in my kitchen, talks like he knows every bruise that I am in. Good morning, Marianas, rise up, Saipan, hearts on the harbor, headlines in his hand. Good morning, Marianas, traffic on Beach Road. Kids half dressed. He jokes about rain and unpaid rent. Says call the show, tell me what you regret. Then plays our song like a second chance bet. He says say your name, we say it like a prayer. Through busted speakers we are almost there. Good morning Marianas, rise up South Bend. Shacks and condos all sing with the fan. Good morning Marianas, old scars, new daylight. Brad talks nonsense, somehow gets it right. Who is this voice in my cracked dashboard? Why does it feel like he is keeping score of every tired island soul dragged out of bed? Every maybe I will make it spinning in my head. Good morning, Marianas. Rise up, South Bend. Bad roads, good stories, all part of the plan. Good morning, Marianas. Yeah, shout it again. Brad says you are awake, so start living it then.
Good morning, Marianas. Oh my goodness. It is 7:46 here on Thursday, January 15th, 2026. Here we are. Good morning, Marianas. Great to see you guys. My goodness, I am all fired up when I hear that song. It gets me going. I love it for sure. By the way, we ended up getting a phone call that was coming in this morning from one of you guys ready to talk already. But that was during the AP news update. So I sent you a message just saying, hey, could you just call back in about 10 minutes or so when we get started. And we're here now. We're ready to go and do all that stuff with you. But not a bad idea. Anyway, great to see you guys this morning. We've got a lot to get to today. We've got a special guest who's going to be calling in from Guam, who was supposed to be on with us yesterday. And there's all kinds of stuff that happened last night and today that we're going to get to. And then we're going to duck out of here because there is a PSS board meeting that's happening today, this morning. And we should be good to go with them in here talking about it today. I'm looking forward to it, and you should too. Possibly some big changes happening at the board level because they're going to do the election of officers and all this other stuff, all the leadership positions. The way it seemed from what we've been hearing from some folks and the way that last night's meeting went, kind of got the feeling that there's going to be some kind of a change, but will that happen? I don't know. We're going to find out when we get up there later this morning. We'll bring that to you as well. So good stuff. Good morning, Luisa Cabrera. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. We'll find out if we've got some more baseball news. By the way, we did get some. She mentioned about that umpire class that's coming up next week. It's a umpire certification program that's being put on by the folks from our local baseball organizers, and it is $50 for the whole week. If you're unable to come up with that $50, two things. One, you should join that survey. We'll tell you about that again. Number two, they are willing to waive that $50, but you have to commit to umpiring for the Little League as well. I think that's a great trade-off because, they're not saying that you got to do it for free, but you got to make sure that you're in there for it. So think about that, guys. You want to make men and women, it's not just for men, If you want to be an umpire, you want to get out there. By the way, we could use some female umpires out here. We got plenty of people who know the game. I say you get out there and do it. They're doing it already in the major leagues. You think that we could probably handle it here, right? Who do you think would be a better ump, Louisa or Chuck? Right now, get on the phones. Let us know. We want to do this survey. All right. I don't want to start a civil war in their household. Because we know Luis is going to win. All right, Sibling since 08. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us again. Buenas Lesur. Great to see you. Who else do we got out there? Eric Mafnas, my veteran brother, over there at the seaport. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for your messages every single day and being a great part of our veteran community as well. Thanks for just being a great guy. Who else do we got out there today? Richard Lazama. He's watching out there saying good morning, Marianas, and to the folks all over the place. Got some messages from some folks overnight, folks who were sending out some messages. We're going to get to your stuff throughout the day today. We received a couple of, one is an op-ed from somebody who sent it in, so thank you very much for sending that. Also, we got the printed version of a public comment that was read aloud last night during the ad hoc committee for Constitution and Budget for the Board of Education, and we're going to print that out there as well. What we ended up doing today, we ended up posting, I don't think we did it on the YouTube side. I didn't think we had enough time. Posted the public comment portion for Jeremy Rother, one of the teachers from Marianas High School, and got that out there for him as well. His big issue was about that 25% that the public schools are guaranteed under the law, and what he thinks about it. And they ended up making a big decision during that meeting to go ahead and recommend to the full board that they seek full-on clarity, as I fight through that yawn, full-on clarity through the courts to clarify exactly what that 25% applies to. There's a difference of opinion between the teachers and between public schools. But there has been resistance for years from some of the board members to actually make that move. And in fact, I was listening to a board meeting from 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And I could hear just this argumentative tone, somebody trying to push their way through. And you know, I'm going to move that over to this computer so you guys can listen to it. And it was specifically meant to delay this conversation. And it is from one of the board members who did it again. And so I have this feeling that this thing's going to be dead on arrival when they have their board meeting today, because of how I think this restructuring is going to go. So we'll see. The teachers don't get a vote. Even though they have a teacher rep on the Board of Education, they don't get a vote. I think that needs to change. I think the teacher rep should also be a voting member. Now, this is a big deal. You got to get into the Constitution to do this. Also, the private schools representative, they do not get a vote in this, even though they receive money from the public school system through federal programs that our private schools are eligible for. It has to go through the public school system. So I think the private school rep should also be a voting member, because it's not the public schools Board of Education. It is the CNMI State Board of Education, period, right? So I think that the teachers should have a vote in this, and not individually, but the teacher rep. And also the private school rep should do that, should get a voting consideration on this. So I know that's not going to happen this time, but it should be interesting today. Gus Litulamar, aloha, great to see you, you helo hopping guy. I know you're out there probably lifting all the weights out there on the Big Island. Good to see you. Mark Villoria, good morning to you. Great to see you too. It is good to see you out here. And thanks again for sending out that little holiday message for everybody that we had on the show for a while. That was awesome. Wari Thai Spa is here And no, it's not guerrilla marketing, but I'm going to give it to them anyway because I love it. I like these guys. So they're putting out their promo because they're pretty nice. They've got a rain or shine relaxation coming to you from Maury Thai Spa. It says, enjoy a premium massage with our well-trained male and female therapist. Perfect for stress relief on a cold or rainy day. Self-care and pampering. Private, convenient wellness. Look at, you can see all that stuff right there. Ooh, they got WhatsApp. They got Viber. People still use Viber. That's awesome. What else do they have? They've got their store hours from 9 in the morning to 11 p.m. Your comfort, your time. Book today and enjoy rainy day relaxation. Boy, I know I have not, like, I drive past there to go home. That is on the way. I didn't know they're open till 11 o'clock. My gosh, you know, I leave here so late sometimes. That wouldn't even be too bad. The only thing is, like, that's like an extra hour or 90 minutes before I would get home. Anyway, I got to check it out. I got to get down there and check it out. All right. We'll try to make that happen. Joshua Brazel. Oh, man. By the way, I got an email that we're going to talk about after I do traffic. Let's do this. Let's get you guys an update on traffic because you're out there on the roads. Want to make sure you know what's happening on the mean streets of Saipan. There's nothing mean about them. They're all friendly. But traffic can be a little nasty out there, especially when it's wet and rainy on the roads like it is this morning. So let's start over there at in Garapan by the tennis ball, pickleball courts over there by CHC. It is a tennis court pretty soon because of the SIS tennis tournament that's going to start tomorrow. We're going to tell you more about that in a little bit. Anyway, things looking pretty good in Garapan right now as we make our way south on Middle Road. All the hot spots at the intersections with traffic lights. You can see that all the way through. In fact, all the way down to the intersection that matters at the place where connections matter. I-T-N-E. It looks like there's a little bit of traffic that way. But again, everything's moving nice and smooth despite it being a rainy, slow, like little dreary-ish day. I think the sun's trying to fight through, and it is working. Making our way over there by Guangdong Hardware. Now we're on Monsignor Martinez, getting our way up to Shell Dandan, and again, traffic a little bit over there too. Remember though, there is some traffic on Esterly if you're trying to make your way up the hill. CUC crews, we're trying to find that leak over there on the way up the hill. That was a big issue. There were some leaks coming from behind the retaining wall. Did you know there was a retaining wall over there? I did not know that. I found it out when we stopped over and spoke with their crews yesterday. Big thanks to all those guys for making sure everybody was safe, but still let me sneak in for a real quick peek and then getting the info to let you guys know what was going on. You know, people lost some water service yesterday. We were able to let people know why. It was a leak that they were trying to address, and hopefully they got it all knocked out. All right, let's look around the back island road. A little bit of traffic in San Vicente, close to the home of the Canaries. It's almost 8 o'clock, so you figure they're going to be there pretty soon. Speaking of 8 o'clock, we've got a guest coming on, no doubt about it. Going back around Middle Road, past Enos Kitchen, and back past AK Toyota. And things are looking good. Now traffic, people heading north. By the way, normally it's usually the status quo by the time I get around the island, but now looking at it over there in front of the home of the Mallards, there's a bunch of traffic as folks are doing that pick up and drop off. You know, the driver for the Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. Yeah, the pickup and drop off area for Garapan Elementary is a little bit slow. But folks heading north on Middle Road through Garapan, it is backing up a little bit. So just expect a slow go as you make your way through Garapan past the tennis courts. But you could have a nice go if you go over to Atkins Kroll Toyota. That's right, $2,000 payment assistance on a Corolla, $3,000 down payment assistance on a brand new Toyota Tacoma. That's right. It can be Taco Tuesday every day if you get a Tacoma at your house. They got tents. They've got down payment assistance. They have service included, and they've got insurance. You got to check them out over at Atkins Kroll Toyota. Give them a call at 234-5911, 234-5911. They are in Puerto Rico now, and they are looking to have you come down and visit them. Say hey to them. You can go say hi to Mark. Hey, Carrie Bertonici says, hey, remember to keep your lights on when it's raining. That's right. Be seen when you're out there on the road. You want to be safe. and sound when you're out there. And that's a great way to do it. Hey, and man, Ken Stewart is out there. He's like, hey, your Good Morning Marianas anthem energized me. Thanks for the wake-up song. You got it, Ken. You got it. I can even send that to you so you can listen to it and power yourself up throughout the day, every day. Over there in YouTube land, Ignacio, good morning. Great to see you. Half a day CNMI, he's saying, and have an awesome day. We'll do our best, buddy. You just keep doing a great job out there. For us. All right, we're going to reach out to our interview that we've got today. So I got to tell you, if you watch the show regularly, you know that yesterday was, oh my God, the king of technical difficulties. The computer was not a happy computer, and so we had to go ahead and take the big computer over there to the folks at Megabyte. My goodness. It was awesome. The folks over there started helping us out. If you don't know Murph Man, Terry the Murph Man over there, he is just great. He started answering questions for us. He tried to help walk us through our issues, not with every issue in life, no. He would be on the phone for a while. But he was sitting there trying to talk to us about everything that we were doing with the computer, because we ended up, it was paralyzing. We couldn't do anything. It turned out we had to take it in there, and he was answering the questions for us early, way before he would have to go to work. Like a couple hours before he'd even have to go into the office, he was already trying to walk us through and help us out. Well, anyway, Murph Man and the team over there at Megabyte Saipan on Middle Road in Guala Rai, they took care of it. We dropped it off right after the show, so maybe just before 9 o'clock. Got to talk with them for a while, and every time you go in, it's a great conversation. I'm telling you, you don't even want to. It is not a here's my item, I'll see you later when it's done. No, you could hang out and have a great conversation with him too while he starts working on your stuff, and you're going to learn a lot about what's going on with the computer stuff and just be able to talk to a good guy. I go off to hit some errands and a photo op and all this other stuff. On my way back down the hill, after I stopped by the CUC stuff yesterday, I get a call, hey, Ben, your computer's ready. That miracle worker brought this thing back to life. So thank you so much for getting it taken care of for us. And boy, I'll tell you, you need someone like that in your life. You absolutely do. Somebody, at least for business stuff, a friend, yes. But for business stuff, if your business is not already linked up with somebody who cares that much about your business to take your call and try to help you, even when they're not in the office, boy, that's the right place to be. All right, well, we are going to try to get this thing started for us here to make sure that she is ready to go. I'm excited about this. We have, oh, good, she's already there. That's awesome. All right, so we are going to get her all started up over here. Oh, man, I've done this before. Don't worry. Watch what happens. I'm going to switch cameras on you just for a quick second. You're going to see no camera, and then you're going to see a camera. Hold on. Watch. Don't worry. It's coming back, and it should be magic. Look at that. See, I'm starting to get good at this. Somehow it's happening. I don't know. I would say it's possible that we could be getting dangerous. I know it's happened again. We're going to do it and do it again. There we go. Yes, we're going to allow the camera. Oh, man. So this happens when we try to get these things going. Let's join now. When we try to get these things going, I'm excited about it. Every time we get to do stuff like this. Today, we have a special guest. I just need to admit our one special guest, and she's just about to get in here. Admit one guest. There we go. That should work. Oh my gosh, I can see her on the screen now. I don't know if she can hear me yet, but we're going to find out. All right, so what I need to do is turn your volume up so you can hear me. And in just a second here, everyone's going to be able to see you too. Right now, they're still looking at my goofy mug. And I can't get both cameras going because it says my other camera's in use. So, but by the way, everyone could see you. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got breaking news. We have someone who I got to meet through the news, doing stuff with back in the old Sorensen days, and then with the KSPN. And holy cow, she's here. I call her K-Pac. I'm probably the only person who calls her that. But Chris.
No, I love that. I love that. Like Tupac. I love it.
Yes.
He was legend. He was legend. I love it. I dig it.
Well, I'm glad. But it's great to have you, Crystal Paco San Agustin. It's so great to have you on here. And you're not even singing yet. We might have to put some kind of a karaoke challenge up here. I don't know, because
Only if you duet with me. Only if you duet with me.
I will do it. I will be as bad of a duet singer with you as Will Ferrell was in Eurovision. That's a deep cut. I don't know if you saw the movie, but he did.
I did. It was fabulous.
I love that
It
movie.
was awful, but fabulous at the same time.
Yes, that is exactly it. But I'll tell you what, I have sung those songs from that movie that are not popular. Nobody else knows those songs in the world except for people who watch that movie. I have sung because there's some bangers in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it's Will Ferrell, it's a great time.
Yes. Hey, well, thanks for taking the time on this. We were supposed to have you in yesterday, and all of a sudden, of course, this happens when I get someone cool who's come to be on the show. We have this massive technical difficulty thing. I'm talking to our guy forever, and I'm like, oh, dude, I can't do this and set you up at the same time. So thank you for rescheduling for this morning. I really appreciate it.
Happy to accommodate, especially as I think about my career and the impact that the CNMI and especially the CNMI audience has had on my career, coming from KUAM and the times at KSPN, and we're channeling news over there. And so I'm so grateful for all the support from my brothers and sisters up north. And I was just there last month, and it's not changed, but it feels like home at the same time. I have so many fond memories visiting Saipan and Rhoda Antinian and Saipan just last month, and hearing the Chamorro language so alive and well and thriving, and to see how business is run there. And I got to say, you guys have some really great AV teams. Like, I was really enjoying the coverage for the state funeral through and through. You guys are doing amazing work, and please keep it up.
Well, thanks. And a lot of that is through, we're a small place. People wear a lot of hats. People have to team up and count on each other. It takes a village to do anything here. So we just use all the villages at the same time. So working with the college, providing like a really good feed and trying to link that up. And I mean, it's just something that we're able to do here. And I think it's because we're a lot smaller, so it's just easier to do some of those things over here. You guys, though, you've got like a ton of fully fledged crews all over the place that can knock out all this stuff.
Yes and no. But just like you said, oh my goodness, those are my dogs. That's how you know I'm zooming at home. It's giving me COVID PTSD.
Nice.
Yes, just like you and CNMI, we absolutely wear many hats. If you do one skill, we are going to exploit that skill. Everyone knows that you do that and you do it well. You're going to do more of it. And the reward for good work is what, Brad? It's more work.
More work. Well, speaking of work, let's talk about you. Introduce yourselves to all our viewers and all this stuff. Let's talk about it, because I got to meet you through the news. But maybe tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how you got into the media world.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's back up a lot. Born and raised on Guam. I went to public school all my life. And in middle school, I actually discovered the saxophone. We have to go back to middle school. Discovered the saxophone, started playing, started singing in choir. I would continue that throughout high school. And naturally, after high school, I joined UOG Jazz Band, the University of Guam Jazz Band, because I had some college friends who were in the band. I majored in music. Believe it or not, most people don't know this about me. My first major at the University of Guam was music, until one day my mom sat me down and she's like, what are you going to do with a music degree? Are you going to teach music? And I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't want to teach music. And so it forced me to really reflect and think about, what did I excel at? What are those general education courses that I really enjoyed, that I thrived very easily? And it was my communications classes. It was talking to people. It was public speaking. It was connecting to others. And so before you know it, I graduated from the University of Guam with a double major in music performance and communications with a focus in mass media. And right before graduation, KUAM News called me up and they're like, hey, we have a spot. You want to come in? You want to interview? And this was Nick Delgado, and he's someone that was very instrumental in my early news career. he remembered me from a story, and he called me out, and he was like, I heard about you. I heard you're graduating with a comms degree. Come and apply. And I did. And before you know it, I was a college grad, went right into my first career, which was KUAM News. And I was there for almost a decade.
Wow.
And when you think about it, I don't even feel that old, but I learned everything and anything at the news, as you would, Brad, you can totally relate. We know a little of a lot. Like we become masters of none, but we also learn everything. We learn on the field. We learn how to absolutely multitask, as you were talking about earlier. I learned how to really network. I learned how government operates. I learned how the private sector operates a bit. I learned about what my passion was, and my passion was connecting people, connecting the dots, and telling stories. And I was so fortunate that I found something that really allowed me to pursue my passions as my first career. And I look back with so much fond memories. But it was in late 2018 where I got pursued by the Leon Guerrero Tenor administration. They had just won. They had just won the campaign for the gubernatorial election. Lou and Josh, of course, I had been covering their campaign until they approached me when they won. I was actually covering the primary election and the general election. And I guess I was top of mind when it came to thinking about who was going to fill their team for their communications team. And it's very natural progression, as you've probably seen with some of my predecessors, right? You go from the news to the government as a government spokesperson. And so that was me, and I followed that trajectory just perfectly. So I started as press secretary in January 2019 with Lou and Josh. I could not say no to this opportunity. I mean, the opportunity to work for Guam's first female governor, like, oh my goodness, this was something I couldn't say no to. And of course, Josh, oh my goodness, I love working for both of them. And it was so bittersweet to have to tell them like a month ago that, hey, I'm moving on. It's the start of the new year. I need to do this for me. But it's been like the greatest honor of my life. It's been absolutely the greatest honor of my life to work for you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, to serve you and the people of Guam in this capacity. Brad, you were right there with me when we had to deal with a pandemic, with Typhoon Mawar. And even preceding that was the dengue outbreak here on Guam. And that was kind of like my training wheels, because Guam hadn't had a dengue outbreak in almost 2 decades. And so that was really my training wheels when it came to, okay, how do we do crisis communications? How do the people of Guam expect their messaging? What are they most receptive to? How can we be more effective as a government to get messaging out there so that people can make smart decisions and protect themselves and their families? And so you were right there along with me on the ride. And I just, like I said, a month ago, I made the announcement to my bosses, Governor Liu and Lieutenant Governor Josh. And now just this past week on Monday, I started my new job.
Wow.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. I can only say that I've changed industries. And I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity to serve the people of Guam in a different capacity. I'm not going far, but I do want to dismiss the rumors that I'm running for office right now.
I heard you're going to be one of the new judges on The Voice. Is that what's going to happen? You're going to hit the button, your chair is going to turn around. We're going to see you there.
Oh my goodness, that would be fabulous. Or I'd be a voice contestant, absolutely. As you know, singing has been very much important to my sanity and to me keeping this work-life balance that is really non-existent. But I do sing. If you're ever on Guam, people of Saipan and Rhoda and Tinian, come check me out. I do love performing. That's my real passion.
So you're covering so much so fast. There's so many cool things I got to ask you. I'm loving it. So first of all, I got to tell you, we are saxophone buddies. I didn't realize this. I only did it for 1 year. It was in 3rd grade, and I'm from Buffalo, New York, so that means I'm in a snow place. And I hated going to school carrying that saxophone case in 3rd grade in the snow and all this, plus my regular school stuff. And I did it just until I made the band and I stopped. But I did like saxophone.
Well, in your defense, you were 3rd grade.
Yes.
You're like 3 feet tall.
It's true. I'm only 3.5 now, but I wanted saxophone because I thought that was the coolest instrument. Like, I really thought that was the cool one. Now I found out the saxophone or the clarinet makes all the really cool notes that I thought I was going to want. But this clarinet was like a girl's instrument. Like, sorry, Kenny G, but like as a third grader, I wanted to be the cool saxophone player. Maybe I was going to be on the new sax player in the E Street Band. I don't know, but either way, that was really cool. But you mentioned something about the work-life balance. I am amazed by how you were able to do it. So a lot of people, when the press secretary position, super high profile, right? And
Absolutely. I'm a director of communications for majority of that time.
yeah, and so you are out there, you're scrutinized, everything you do, the way you sound, the way you look, whatever the message is, whether it's yours or you're just conveying, you got to deal with the hard questions. You get messages from reporters all day, all night. It doesn't matter if you don't respond. Is this the kind of response that we're going to expect from the administration? You know, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people, after they can get away from the camera and all that, they try to just melt away. Not you. You did not lose step with the stuff that you love, because I would still see those videos of you performing and out with the band and just having a great time. It looked like you were just living your life the way you want to do it.
Oh man, thank you so much, Brad, for those kind words. And I want to first get to your first point. It's like, okay, answering to the public. And I think what made me so successful in my time at the governor's office was building rapport with the media and the public and being accessible. Being accessible, it means, hey, answering the text message, answering the call, managing expectations. And this is something I teach all my team of public information officers in the government of Guam. It's, hey, if a reporter reaches out to you, you don't ignore them. You answer them and you tell them, you know, what, you know, you're very clear about the expectations. Okay, I'm not able to reach the director this time. Can we accommodate maybe a 2 p.m. interview instead of 11 o'clock? Can I get back to you? I really don't have these answers on me, but let me talk to the subject matter experts. And it's always being clear and forthright about what I know and what I don't know and when I'm able to get back to you. And I think that's really been so important to my success as a communications director, and it's being just very clear about what I know, what I don't know, and getting back to you. And I think that's what's really helped the media, you know, report in a better light, the government of Guam operations, because, you know, I'm able to accommodate them. You know, if you call me at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I might not be able to reach the director of the Department of Administration, who might be spending some family time. But hey, I'm going to get back to you and be like, I can't get back to you right now with this answer, but how about we circle back first thing Monday morning and I'll get the director on camera for you. And so managing those expectations, because at the end of the day, Brad, you and I know news reporters have work to do too. They have deadlines to meet. They have to figure out what their rundown is going to be, the top story. What can they focus on? Maybe it means that the reporter has to move on a little bit, move on from doing this story and circle back and come back tomorrow. Maybe this can be the top story for tomorrow, but managing expectations. So that's managing expectations and being very accessible. You know, my work phone never turned off. It's my personal phone is my work phone. So there is no separation. I would carry that phone everywhere. I would always respond, even if it's to acknowledge. And I think even my biggest critics and the biggest critics of the government were always so appreciative how open I was. I've given my cell phone number out to strangers. I answer all the time. If I can't answer, I'll give you back a text saying, hey, I can't answer. How can I help you? How can I support you? And I always follow through. And I think follow through is the third component. So managing expectations, being accessible, and following through have been really paramount to my success as the director of communications, and before that, the press secretary for the Office of the Governor of Guam. And to your second point, which was, hey, you know, I didn't shy from the cameras after I would be done with my, not even an 8 to 5, but my 24/7 gig as the comms director for the government, I was always out in public, either emceeing events or singing at events. And that channels back to my first passion, which is connecting to people. And Brad, you know what it's like. You go to a karaoke bar, you don't know anybody, but now you're singing the same song. You may not even speak the same language. You might not know each other, but before you know it, you're bonding through music. And I think that's what makes us in the island so special, because we bond so quickly over music and singing along to songs with one another. And so I would love that, and that would really fill up my cup. So at the end of the day, when, the government work really like drain my cup, empty my cup, I'd fill it back up with connecting to people in the public. And my favorite way to do it is with music. And at most of my gigs, I end the gig with this thank you. My band will be playing the final song, the final, like the closing part of the song, or they'll be soloing, and I'd be like, over that, I'd be like, I just want to thank each and every one of you for joining me, because time is the most valuable resource, and you spent time with me tonight, and thank you for allowing me to connect with you. Because nothing makes me more happy than bringing a room full of strangers together on a dance floor. Most of them don't even speak the same language. And I love that about performing at the hotels. It's the great melting pot of locals, of tourists, of military, and people who may be celebrating or not celebrating. And so I really enjoy that, and that fills up my cup. So that's your second point. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I love that, because for a lot of reasons, and like you mentioned about like filling your cup and everything, but you were able to not lose that. And I feel like a lot of this is a challenging thing. Like you dealt with so many big things. And people, if they don't like whatever team you're with, like politically and all that other stuff, they try to find a way. I can't say this is everybody, but it feels like people are looking for a way to like kind of chip away at people because they're just on the other team and say, oh, that's not right or anything. I never saw that with you. Like people just seem to be along for the ride and supporting the stuff that you were doing. It just seemed pretty infectious that even though you're dealing, which by the way would be the wrong term in COVID, but it was they appreciated what you were doing, and they could still appreciate that you were able to do and still have a life instead of being totally walled off afterwards. And I appreciated it because it's tough. Do you think that being a reporter yourself first really helped you with this job that you walked into?
Absolutely. I mean, also what helped me is being at KUAM really built my credibility and the public trust with the people of Guam, right? They were think about it, as a news reporter, what did we do? Especially when TV was still king. People let you into their homes at the most vulnerable time of the day. They're coming home at 6 p.m. Maybe they're making dinner. The kids are at the kitchen table doing their homework. They're catching up. And whether or not the TV is on, the volume is on or not, you are in their homes. They trust you. And so I never took advantage of that trust, and I always really took that responsibility to heart about how people Guam let me in. And you become an influencer, you become a public celebrity, a local celebrity of sorts. I couldn't go anywhere without people recognizing me. Hey, aren't you the girl from the news? And I'll be like, yes. And then I do my news voice, and that's what always trips them out. When they go, reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Yes.
And when they hear that voice, they know instantly. They know my face, but they couldn't place me. And then when they hear that voice, like, yes, you're that girl that gives me the news. And so you built this relationship, even though it's more like one-sided, right? They see me and I don't see them. That built that public trust, and that carried over so seamlessly into my career in public service as the government main messenger. And I think I really proved myself and how vulnerable. And I think I was really at the right place at the right time. Because think about it, Brad, during COVID, if you weren't tech savvy, if you weren't social media savvy, you would not have been successful at government messaging, at messaging for all the policies that were changing. And they were changing on a daily basis, and trying to explain, why Governor Liu was changing this policy, and to do it in a way that made sense to the people, that was very accessible. So what happened was, I was at home every night. I would go to the office still. I was reporting to work during COVID, but at night I would come home. My husband would help me. He would set up my lights. I set up a little TV with a makeshift TV, and I would report to the people of Guam. Hafide Guam, this is the latest on our COVID situation. Here's how many people tested positive. And this was just me and my cell phone and a little junky tripod with a table. Like it was, if you could see the full picture and not just the picture that was showing on the screen to the people of Guam. But they knew that they could count on me every single night to go online on Facebook to tell them what's up. And it was in a format that they could understand. I made everything very bite-sized, bullet form, bite-sized. Okay, here's how many positives. Here's how many people tested negatives. Here's how many people died. here's the new policy based on our COVID score, which we leaned on to help us change policy, gave us the data to just determine whether or not we could open up more or we had to close up more. And then the vaccines came, and that changed everything. And when I look back at also why I was very successful, it's I had such a great team behind me, and I handpicked my team. And I think that's one of my strengths is maximizing people's talents. Once I know what you do well, I want you to do it the best, more better than anyone else. And so behind me, I had a graphic designer, I had graphic designers, I had video and photographers, videographers and photographers, and they would help carry me through the rest of my time at the governor's office. So, shout outs to Chloe, who was my first graphic designer. She was the one that came up with Kiko the Carabao, the icon we used during COVID, to help us explain in a friendly way the policies. And to Andrea Muir, Dalen Pelletier is my deputy director of communications at the office of the governor. He's still there. He's holding the office down. He's fabulous at strategy, and he's such a visual talent just overall. And then to my photographers and my videographers, Anton Nata, I actually took him from the Calvo administration. He was great. And then of course, Jose Castro, and I took the best and I made them part of my team, and we just became this machine that would take us through past the emergencies. And right after, of course, COVID was Typhoon Mawar.
Yeah. And that was, I was thinking about like everything that happened while you were there. And, it's easy, the talking points that people have about the COVID times are so different now compared to like what was actually happening in real time in a world where there wasn't a playbook for anything. Everyone's trying to figure it out, thinking about your own safety, thinking about your parents, your family, and then all these other people come in. I still remember the day when you guys had your first confirmed case. And I'm like, holy cow! It was just after I think we did the half marathon in Saipan, and the next weekend was supposed to be a triathlon, and I'm like, there's no way we're doing the triathlon. It's not going to happen. But then my wife was there, and I'm like, babe, you need to reschedule your flight and come back tomorrow morning. She's like, what are you talking about? She was there to go to UOG for her master's stuff that would happen over the summer. And or over that 2-week span in the spring. I think it was like the Easter break from school and stuff like that. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, they're going to cancel all your stuff. And then no, they're not. I'm like, yes, they are going to cancel everything. You need to do this.
You don't want to get stuck on Guam.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you're going to have to get stuck there. Then you're going to get stuck on the way back. Fly back now. And you got to quarantine. I'll take care of everything when we get back. Like I ran to the store. I got everything. She definitely did not want to do any of this. She's like, this is going to ruin my program. I'm like, just please believe me. Like, this is going to happen. They're going to, and they did. They canceled everything because everybody kind of went a little bit, cautious, I guess is the nice way to say it, right?
It was things happened overnight, right? Mm-hmm. For students at school, they wouldn't know that this would be the last time they'd see their classmates, that Friday before. They didn't realize that was the last time you're going to see your classmates for like 2 years. And things happened so abruptly. And I think your advice to your wife was very sound, and you had great foresight about what was going to happen next. And I hope she came home. And I know that that's a time, I think most of us have PTSD when we think about COVID and all what happened there. And I think, the people on Saipan and Sinamai can also relate, like things had to change so quickly and the policies. And then when we had our first death, that was one of the worst days in my time in office with Governor Liu and Lieutenant Governor Josh was, oh my God, we have our first death. This is real. Getting our first case was real, but the first death was devastating. And trying to talk to the families and trying to communicate that when everyone had panic already. Because, when you think about Guam's response and recovery from both the pandemic and the typhoon, it's like, COVID, we had too much information. In fact, we had disinformation because people didn't know what was verified. And trying to make the Joint Information Center that one source, that took training, and that took, again, regularity, training people to tune in every night to me, to listen to me and the data that I was presenting to them. And then on the flip side, you had Typhoon Mawar, where we had no power and no way to get messaging out. And we had to revert back to traditional media. I mean, we were printing out where people could dispose of their trash and putting them in food bags, in canned food bags, so that people could throw away their wet rugs and their wet sofas and all the debris from Typhoon Mawar, because now we had another public health emergency that could be thrust upon us, which was, mold and mildew. Those were real things that were threatening our people right after the typhoon. And I know the people of Saipan and Racine, I can totally relate. You guys got hit a few times in the last, 10 years or so. And so you can relate. But, Brad, I think you do people of the CNMI such a great service with your news. And it's so important. Again, information is key, so people can make those smart choices for themselves and their families. And why I think I've been so successful is because I've been very transparent. I've been very open. My life is an open book. I mean, even my Instagram, you can find me. I tell you where I'm going to be. I invite you to join me in music. I tell you about government operations, and this next chapter that I'm entering, I might be a little more quiet, but I'm not going anywhere. Again, I want to really support the people of Guam in a different way, and hopefully a way that propels things faster. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Well, I know I'm not going to probe anymore about what you're doing next. I am excited to find out what it is whenever you're able to do it. You've just been a great help, and especially, most recently, I didn't know if you said it was a month ago, you had already known that you were doing this. But when you helped get me in for the interview with the governor, I had no idea that you were going anywhere or thinking about not being there or anything. And so, being able to facilitate that interview was great. It was my first time. I had met the lieutenant governor a couple of times. I've seen him at some the military, like change of commands and things like that. But to actually meet the governor and have a conversation with her, boy, I really appreciated her point of view. And I could hear how genuine she was, especially about like one of the topics that was the tougher one for me to deal with at the end. And, she's just a genuine person from Guam that I'm glad that I got to meet. You got to work with her for 7 years, and you're doing probably some new exciting things here soon that we'll look forward to. We only got a couple of minutes left because I know you got a busy day too, and we're going to go and cover some PSS stuff, which I know you probably enjoyed. When you were saying you were director of communications, did you run everything through all the different agencies through the governor's office and get out, or did people have direct communication with like the secretaries of so-and-so, or did they always go to you and then you had to filter all that stuff out?
The latter. So
Okay.
like agencies that had public affairs officers, PIOs, public information officers, they'd always run things through me. Say you have a big event, you have a press release, you have an announcement you want to make, they'd run it through me. Even the bad news, my phone rang all the time. But again, I'm very diligent about answering because it could be an emergency. And people always could trust that I'd answer and follow through and respond. And so grateful for that. But yes, most things would be channeled through me before it went directly to the governor. But the directors obviously had some direct access, as they had actually, Governor and LT, they're very open, of course, to their cabinet. And I would just be one of those people that if they couldn't reach the governor, they'd call me and I'd relay the information. Of course, having that direct channel, that direct communication, that direct WhatsApp, with Governor likes texting me at 4 a.m. and she knows I'm up because I'm spinning, but she'll ask me a question or ask me to follow through. And of course, it's 4 a.m. I'm awake, I'm going to respond. And so my life was always on when I was communications director. And as for, your time with the governor, I think she really enjoyed the time to reflect. I think, we're coming at that time in her term, the latter part of her second term, where we're now spending a lot of time reflection. And you are going to see not just me, but other people moving on. It's that time of the season. It's the time of the term, rather, where people are trying to prepare to move on. Because, we got to make room for new leadership. Again, where, I don't have to say it, but where my support lies. Again, I've been very loyal to Lou and Josh for the past, 8 years. I know I worked for them for 7 years, but I don't have to say where my loyalty lies as we move on to the next phase.
Well, it's great. I'm excited for you. It was really great to have this conversation and to be able to get in and watch your career continue to blossom. And, you know, I wish nothing but the best for you. We'll try to figure out a song for when we get back to Guam and try to go out there. And hopefully you got some backup singers that can carry me a little bit.
The next time I see you, you come to my gig, we'll sing Endless Love.
Oh, my gosh. That
Always,
requires harmony.
Always by Atlantic Star.
Oh,
I can think of a few.
okay. First of all, that was one of my slow dance songs when I was a kid. I remember that when that was out on the radio, you know, like the whole.
Oh boy, I love you so. I can't find enough ways to let you know. Right? You can sing me that one.
Oh, I know. Girl, you're like the sun chasing all the rain away. You know, like when you come around, you bring brighter days. I know this song. I love it. But I can't do it because that harmony. I am not a harmony guy. I am a one. I'm a one lane person, but
You're a melody guy. You're a melody guy.
I'm a melody guy.
But it's okay. I forgive you.
That's okay. Thanks. See, I got work to do on a lot of different things. Hey, if there's one thing, is there one piece of advice that you would give somebody if they were in the public relations or public communications field that could help anybody? Like just one little piece of advice that would help them if they took a job like what you just had, whether it was at the gubernatorial level or in agency level stuff?
I think this circles back to what I said before and what made me successful in my capacity as the director of communications. It's accessibility. You're a communications person. People should be able to reach you, phone, WhatsApp, whatever it is. They should not have to put out smoke signals to reach you. Mm-hmm. Accessibility. Managing expectations. Hey, I don't know this, but I'm going to talk to the person that knows this, and I'm going to get back to you by this time, because I recognize that as a news reporter or the public has to have questions. It has to have answers to their questions, and you want to manage their expectations. If you can at all possible, kind of create a rhythm. People turn on the TV at 6 p.m. They know they can trust the news is going to come out. Or if we're able to break news, what is the platform people can expect it? Is it Facebook Live? Is it a WhatsApp video that can circulate very quickly? Because we know the Tomorrow News Network is very fast with the forward many times. And so again, back to accessibility, managing expectations, or if I don't know, when can people expect to know what time they're going to get the information? This was so important during the pandemic and during the typhoon. People knew that at 8 o'clock I was going live every night to tell them about the latest in the pandemic. And then 3, follow through, because my least favorite thing that can happen in any big organization is people say they're going to do something and they don't do it. And so I think those 3 things are going to make you successful, not only as a public informations or a communications professional, but in all your careers. And I think that's really what I'm going to bring to my next chapter in my life, is those 3 things: accessibility, managing expectations, and follow through. And so that's my advice to anyone who may want to pursue a career like mine. If you have any questions, Brad, I do encourage your listenership to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram. I am Crystal Paco, or Facebook, and you can reach out to me on those channels. I'm very good about social media. I can't announce my new work email just yet because I've not formally announced, but I look forward to that very shortly, and maybe in the next few weeks, and to debuting in my new capacity.
Well, we look forward to that too. Thanks so much for your time, being so generous with your time and your communications throughout the years. And good luck. I've got a million more questions, but we got to go. You got to go. And
we'll save that for coffee on Guam, or the next time I'm in Saipan, we'll sit down.
Deal. Sounds like a plan. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Brad, and thank you so much to the people of CNMI for all your support.
All right. K-Pac is out. Thanks so much for being with us today. What a great morning. And we're going to get going because we've got stuff that we got to hit to, too. But before we do, we're going to get you a couple of news headlines, and then literally we're sliding down the back of the dinosaur and getting to PSS. They've got the Board of Education meeting. We're expecting some interesting things today, so we're going to hear it. But first, let's hear what's going on with the Associated Press.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Top diplomats from Denmark and Greenland visited Washington today to discuss President Trump's insistence that the U.S. take over Greenland. Ed Donahue has the latest.
The president has tried to make the case NATO should help the U.S. acquire Greenland.
We're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
There were talks involving Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
For us, ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable.
Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen says there will be more talks. Denmark's Prime Minister announced an increase in military presence and exercise activity in close cooperation with allies. Vivian Motzfeldt is Greenland's Foreign Minister.
We are allies. We are friends. We have been cooperated in many years. We have history together. So it's all our interest to find the right balances.
Sweden says its armed forces are arriving in Greenland today. I'm Ed Donahue.
Delayed government reports show wholesale prices up just 0.2% in November from the month before and 3% from a year earlier, while retail sales rose a better than expected 0.6% as the holiday season kicked into gear. Bankrate's Ted Rossman.
The fact that these sales came in about 0.75 of a point better than the inflation rate year over year shows that people aren't just spending more because things cost more. Like there's actual real growth here. It's not always even. We are seeing upper income households supporting a lot of this spending.
Home sales remained stuck at a 30-year low last year, that from the National Association of Realtors, and stocks closed lower today. This is AP News.
Hey, bro, can I grab your bush?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold Bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive Bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your Bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your Bush today.
Shiny smile.